Okay, let's just get right into it. If you're building out enterprise software right now, you know that every single second of latency, and honestly, every fraction of a cent per token, adds up incredibly fast. If you're trying to scale your AI features, you're probably hitting a really painful wall, skyrocketing cloud costs and incredibly sluggish processing speeds. Because let's face it, routing every single digital task through a massive, cutting-edge AI model is, quite frankly, just burning through your corporate budget. So in today's explainer, we're unpacking a really powerful architectural shift that completely solves this problem: tiered small language model, or SLM routing.
Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the enterprise AI dilemma, then the routing gateway solution. From there, we'll break down the three-tier AI system, how to actually make the switch, and finally, the impacts, rewards, and the risks involved.
All right, part 1, the enterprise AI dilemma.
When companies first adopt AI, they tend to do this thing where they route literally every single text prompt to a massive commercial cloud-based large language model. And sure, it works, but those models carry massive financial costs per word. And even worse, the latency. I mean, waiting 5 seconds for a simple text formatting response just completely ruins the user experience, right? But by shifting to a tiered system instead, you can optimize your hardware, completely slash those token bills, and drastically speed up your response times. Why? Because smaller, targeted models simply process information so much faster.
Think about it like this. Using a massive frontier model for every single task is literally like using a supercomputer just to run a basic calculator app. You wouldn't hire a world-class neurosurgeon to put on a Band-Aid, right? So why on earth are you using a premium, deep reasoning large language model just to sort a list of names or categorize an email or format a date? It's wasted computing power, it's wasted time, and it is absolutely terrible for your bottom line. You're basically paying a premium for a level of intelligence that you just do not need for that specific task.
Moving on to part 2, the routing gateway solution.
So what's the fix? Well, tiered SLM routing relies on an automated software layer, the router, that sits directly between the user and your AI models. Think of this gateway exactly like a hospital triage nurse. It evaluates incoming requests in real time to decide exactly what level of care or, what size of AI model is actually needed. It perfectly matches the task difficulty directly to your hardware capacity. This ensures that simple cuts get a quick bandage and the complex surgeries go straight to the operating room.
This router acts as an invisible shield for your system. Before a single premium token is ever billed, the gateway steps in and intercepts the user's prompt. It immediately evaluates how difficult the task is, using predefined business rules, maybe some specific keywords, or even a tiny internal classification model. Then it assigns that prompt to a specific tier, based on your requirements for speed, privacy, and complexity. But it doesn't just route it and forget about it. After the execution, it actually performs verification. If a smaller model returns a low confidence score or an error, the router instantly and automatically escalates that task up to a smarter, larger model. So you're guaranteeing product quality while still attempting that cheapest route first.
All right, Section 3, the three-tiered AI system.
When you actually dig in and analyze the data, you find this huge aha moment. A massive 80% of daily corporate AI tasks are incredibly basic. We're talking things like classifying incoming data, standardizing text formats, or extracting names and addresses. Another 15% fall into what we call a medium difficulty range. And only a tiny 5% are those truly complex strategic tasks. What does that mean for you? It means that 80% of your daily traffic absolutely does not require a premium, expensive AI model to get the job done right.
So let's align our tools directly to those tasks. Tier 1 delivers incredibly fast, snappy responses using local or highly affordable small language models. These are strictly for handling routine data classification and extraction. Next, Tier 2 steps up to your smart mid-range models. These are basically your workhorses, perfect for standard content writing, document summarization, or language translation. Meanwhile, we're reserving the deliberate, highly expensive heavy lifting of Tier 3, those frontier premium LLMs, exclusively for complex strategic reasoning, advanced math, or highly ambiguous coding problems.
Let's take a second to focus on the real heroes of Tier 1, small language models or SLMs. These are compact software packages ranging from roughly 500 million to 14 billion parameters. Because they have fewer parameters, they are incredibly lightweight. You do not need massive, power-hungry server farms to operate them. You can literally run them on highly affordable computer chips directly on your own local office servers. And listen, this represents a massive win for data compliance. Because these models run entirely locally within your own infrastructure, your highly sensitive customer information never leaks outside the company walls to some third-party vendor.
Okay, let's move to Section 4, how to actually make the switch.
You know the saying, you can't manage what you don't measure. So step 1 is auditing your workloads. You've got to record your current token spending and strategically group your past text prompts. Step 2 requires you to select open source small language models that perfectly match your exact workflows. Steps 3 and 4, that's where you deploy that single point central routing gateway and write the precise logic rules that'll determine prompt difficulty on the fly. Now, step 5 is absolutely critical. You have to run shadow testing. Deploy the whole system in the background and let those small models process real requests silently. This lets you verify their accuracy without end users ever seeing the results. Finally, step 6, you switch to live traffic and continuously tweak your routing rules based on the performance data you're gathering.
And finally, Section 5, impacts, rewards, and risks.
The impact chain for this architecture is incredibly fast. On day 1, you activate the router software. By week 1, you're already redirecting 80 to 90% of your simple corporate tasks away from the cloud and onto your efficient local models. Fast forward to month 1, and your high-volume reliance on expensive cloud providers just completely plummets. And by quarter 1, you can take all of that saved operational budget and reallocate it into building robust, custom corporate infrastructure. Plus, as a huge bonus, you've dramatically protected your business from sudden third-party cloud outages by keeping core functions in-house.
Now, this next number is exactly what your chief financial officer wants to hear. By stopping the relentless flow of routine, basic data to expensive cloud providers and shifting those workflows to Tier 1 small language models, your overall AI inference bills will collapse by up to 70 to 90%. That is a massive, almost immediate return on investment for your enterprise, simply by being a bit smarter about how you process text.
But we have to keep this explainer objective. This tiered system does bring some very real risks that you need to manage. First up, routing errors. The software might misjudge a highly complex problem as easy, which results in a low-quality or hallucinated answer from a small model. Second, you are looking at increased system complexity. Your engineering team is now managing multiple models and updates, instead of just one simple API connection. Third, SLNs have very limited general knowledge, so they are pretty terrible for open-ended research. They're also highly sensitive to prompt phrasing, meaning minor wording changes can easily break their logic. And finally, evaluating the prompt at the gateway itself does introduce a tiny, minor fraction of a second in routing overhead. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to take a hard look at your corporate data streams today. Are you paying premium, top-tier AI prices just to execute basic digital chores? Because if the answer is yes, you are quite literally burning capital. Ask yourself, is it time to stop treating all data equally and start triaging your AI workloads? Adopting a tiered routing gateway isn't just about saving money. It's about building a smarter, faster, and much more resilient corporate system. It's time to audit your workloads and take control of your architecture.